Hello, wonderful people, Quacklings, and whoever got here through autoplay. Welcome to Art Quack, or Quack Art. I don't know the name yet, but what I do know is a lot of drawings. I'm a published author, here in Brazil at least. I also the artist for a lot of fan art and a freelance illustrator, and I'm also the artist and game dev for Wizard Ducks, which is a very cool game that you should totally follow on Twitter. It is Wizard Ducks 1, by the way. It is on Instagram as well. And you guys have asked me to make a video about the art choice of my drawings for the game. Because all you're seeing here, it is basically not where we started. Like, yeah, sure, I did some concept arts recently. Well, not recently, but before I started working on the flowers on the game. But all that came after. And especially that came way after the original pixel art. And I'll explain why. So this one here, it looks like a screenshot, but it was never ever in the game. And we were setting our limitations. And one of them is I'm going to do all the art, and Drago is going to do most of the code. Like really most of it. I don't dare touch his code, guys. Seriously, it is really messed up. Too much spaghetti for my brain. It doesn't even come close to my level of coding, which is 14 out of 10 out of how basic it is. But my coding skills are enough to get around whatever he throws at me and allow him to not worry about implementation of graphics once we really get going. It also helps us see the budget, which I control, and knowing both those things helps us see if we should have gone 2D or 3D, even though technically the engine is running a 3D game on Game Maker. Yes, this is a 2D focused engine working a 3D game that is simulating 2D. Yes, we are worried, and yes, it is a very difficult time on Drago's adult life, but he has the support of his sister. His mom is starting to see the problem, and I'd like to register here that we, no matter what, are there for him. Okay? But without further ado, let's talk about the graphics, because I was digressing over Space Impact, over Space Invaders, about Digimon, and about Pokemon on their selling points, which is material for another 3 or 4 videos. I recorded it twice, and at one time it was 1 hour of recording with whatever I'm going to talk here. And by the end of the third day, it was 1 hour and a half from scratch. So if you like those videos, please subscribe, please tell us, and say what you want to say from us. It is really fun to nerd out about art. So yeah, let's go. Limitations. Here we have a 32 by 32 box. And I'll never select it right, by the way. This was all we had, because we knew, like, sometimes we want to make the wings blue or purple, and while purple might kinda work, this here, it won't work really well at night on a water tile. And the staff here was, no matter if I was animating on 2 or 3 frames or 4, we didn't want it to bug, and we needed to know what was going on, so we would use a single function for the whole sprite. Nowadays we're trying to make this a single object, and maybe the wings will be different on a different, it will be, and maybe the wings will be drawn on a different function, and then there are pre-rendered particles and all this crap. But this is code I'm going to make, and code that Drago is going to have to deal with. And we want pacing of frames, individual frames from a sprite. We want a lot of things that shouldn't be done on prototyping. Another thing that we were quite aware of is that this project can quite fail miserably, and we needed to recycle code. So if there is a reason why we're so slow with mechanics and game feel, by the way, it is because we need to be very aware that we are using recycled code, and we need to make code that can be recycled. So the frogs could be double that. Nah, they will be for now 32 pixels per 32 pixels. And I had a pitfall with trying to break this mode. He is 30 pixels high, if I recall. And this is the hunter, the original hunter. Well, not quite the original, but we got there. And the wings and the tail points to another direction. The wing had to be aggressive and useless, and we wanted claws, and we wanted jaguar spots because it would run to kill our little duckling, and we wanted to give this feeling, and it was originally yellow because you would see it as the only thing that is yellow through most of the grasslands, besides you. And yellow for the duckling with orange is perfect, because if it is on a water tile, you can see it. If it is on grass, you can see it. If it is at night on out of that, you can see it. It is perfect for prototyping and for most of the gameplay. And I had to do the art all based on that. So here are some late concept arts. None of them came before the original sprite of the duckling right there. And we went through a lot of sprite ducklings. I can make a whole video about that, by the way. So the thing is, we need to respect our art, and while this is great for me to know shape and all, we needed to push something that we could actually sell. And here is an example of me trying to push the limits of our style. This is based on some Pokemon cards, by the way. I really like this watercolor kind of marker thing where you do white highlights, even though I rarely have the chance of using pure white on concept art, so it's really fun to work with. And the limitation for the game was we need to make it round, we need to make it cute, and we still aren't sure about the hat. And this is the pinnacle of our art style, at least for now. You can see I made shadows. I usually don't make shadows because I'm a single guy trying to find ladies in my area. I'm a single guy trying to work on all of this. So when I need concept art for, I don't know, Twitter, you can see there is no shadow. And the outline in this case, I rarely use thick outlines. And thick outlines, the problem is it divides too much from the drawing. And on Twitter it works because there is a screenshot right below. But for this doesn't need it. If we want a scenery here, it will be perfect. And you can see a bit of shadow, but usually we just want a bit of highlight and show, because light is a mechanic, and while shadow is great for doing this, it is not so much when you want to get a simple drawing right. So we had to abandon shadows for most of the project. Here I kinda tried make a shadow here, and this is fine, but you won't see me wasting time trying to do it here. Another thing that you should be doing is subscribe and retweet and okay, I'll stop. But you can see here the screenshot. I didn't think I had this. I didn't think I had this saved. You can see the division. You can even set it apart from our own graphics, And speaking of which, there's a reason why this guy here isn't on a black outline. It was because it was too divided, and it would make it just be a regular outline, and it really felt like we were wasting space. And while outlines, let me find here. And while outlines work kinda well on blue, I was going to say on white. On blue, it doesn't quite do it on the game, because this duckling is going to be on a lot of water, and if we do his outline on blues, and this isn't a 3D game, by the way, it will be a checkbox problem eventually, and maybe not with the duckling, but with the staff and the enemies that might or not be blue. And we couldn't also make the outline on this game, like we couldn't make it a black color, like I said before. We also couldn't make the shadows too hard, even with light, because if we make this a little, let me try here, because if we make this a little darker, because if we make this a little darker, look, this looks kinda fine here, right? But if we zoom in, can you see the outline? A little, right? Imagine this on night mode, and you start to lose detail, because sometimes it will look like a huge outline, sometimes it will look like there is no outline and starts to lose style. So this is another thing we have to consider. In fact, there are a lot of things that we are taking in consideration, and I would love to talk about them on another video. This video was originally an 1 hour recording, and said, okay, that's not good enough. And then I tried to record again another day, and then again on the third day, and it turned out that the video was 1 hour and a half of recording. So if you want us to nerd out, you can totally just tell us and subscribe and like the video, because we have the material, seriously. And if you want to go right now to WizardDucks1 on Twitter and Instagram, if I stop being annoyed by how they block computers of posting videos, you'll see a lot of content, and you might even get to vote on the name of this NPC. Like, look how cute he is. Oh my god, or she. We haven't decided yet. She's adorable. We are not making any money right now, and we can't work on this full time. So if you like pixel art or game dev in general, please do hit us a like. Seriously, we really need it, and it would mean the world to us. And if this video gets 100 views, just 100, we will make a following. It was really fun talking to you guys, and if you guys are interested, I'll see you next time.